and gentlemen, welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club. Last time, we got rid of Monica. But curiously, Sayori actually knows about it, which if we just reset the game state, it's interesting that she does. I almost have to wonder, does she know about that because there's certain calls to interact with Monica and she's aware that Monica doesn't exist? But even then, that doesn't make sense because whenever a character gets deleted, it ends up being like a call to talk to garbage data. So the fact that it's Monica, like pure Monica, that's interesting, and I do not know what it means. That's right. I know everything that she did. That you could have said something about it before, and that's a creepy effect. It's a zoom in that goes along with a heartbeat, which is it's effective. But I'm also just like, am I like epileptic? Is this meant to imply something other than just be creepy? Maybe it's because I'm the president now. But I really know everything, Dameol. Do you know my real name? Know how hard you tried to make everyone happy? I really did. I worked for you. I'm not creepy like Monica. Be nice to me. I know all the things that Monica did to make everyone really sad. But none of that matters anymore. Oh, god dang it. Is she turning into Monica? Is she gonna, like... I wonder if she can delete. Like, does she also have access to the command line? And you made me the happiest girl in the whole world. I can't wait to spend every day like this. God damn it. This is what happens when robots become sentient. Everything just gets weird. With you. Forever and... So here's a question. Would this have happened? Would Sayori have been president? Well, no. Because in the first playthrough, I actually eventually decided on Sayori over Yuri. If I had stayed with Yuri the whole time, if I had rejected Sayori's love in order to commit myself to Yuri, would Yuri be president now? And same thing, like in the first run, if I had gone after Natsuki, is she being selected because she was the person I tried to get with on my very first playthrough? Oh, I'm not doing that. Forever and ever. She definitely can do the Monica, I'm going to superimpose the text thing. Is there an E? I can't click on history because she's in the way. No. Eh? What's that? Is Monica not actually gone? You don't have to worry about her hurting me. As far as I know, I'm at least immune, because I ultimately have the decision to run the program or not. Again, that does run the question of how much access to the computer do they have? Who? It hurts. I think this is Monica. I'm sorry. I was wrong. There's no happiness here after all. Goodbye, Sayori. Goodbye, Dameol. Goodbye, Literature Club. Interesting. Is this an ending of the game then? Like, I don't know where it can go from here necessarily. I can hear you.
Hi, it's me. So you know how I've been like practicing piano and stuff? And
Is this what you're supposed to sound like?
not
Shit.
Really any good at it yet, like at all. But I wrote you a song, and I was kind of hoping that I could show it to you because I worked really, really hard on it. So yeah.
This is weird. Like, I don't want to talk too much because I have to be able to listen. Playing audio DDLC.OGG. Was the theme song of the game, obviously. I guess I don't need to tell you guys that.
Every day I imagine a future where I can be with you. In my hand is a pen that will write a poem of me and you.
So the real question is, how's Monica still around if her character got deleted? Or does she back herself up?
Goes down into a dark puddle. Just move your hand right the way into his heart. But
But in this world of infinite choices, what will it take just to find that special day? What will it take just to find that special day?
Wow, did I really like quit 5 minutes before the end of the game? Although you can't really blame me because there's no way I would have known the end of the game was right freaking here.
Have I found everybody a fun
But yeah, it definitely feels like this is the end. Concept Ding design, Dan Salvato. I actually feel a little bit bad now.
Everything that we do is fun for them anyway.
You just don't want anyone to be in this game otherwise.
When I can't even read my own feelings, what good are words when a smile
You gonna
says
do?
it all?
Yep.
And if this world
Wow, this is okay. So ultimately, again, Monica just cannot stand for anyone but her to exist. I think she would have been okay with them if I had just committed to her, but the fact that I didn't, and that again, begs, who is Monica? I still feel like she's a character in the game, but there isn't a romance option for her, which is an interesting decision because you can't actually end up with Monica.
only write better words
Although, is
for
that
those
true?
who are dear.
Now that you can do this, are you able to actually have different playthroughs happen depending on which characters you load in? Like, how customizable is this? Do you just have to play and let the game define its own options? Or are you able to... Is she going to remove the other three there too, or is she going to leave them?
Being flown
So far, she's leaving them.
to a dark puddle. How can I write love into reality? If I
Because, yeah, there's no... Okay, there's a picture with Monica. She'll probably leave that one where it is.
what do you call
Special thanks to Monica and Dameol.
reality? And
Really?
your reality, if I don't know how to love you,
She's just deleting everything.
maybe
Made with something. I don't know how much love had to do with it, Mr. Salvato. This is my final goodbye to the Literature Club. I finally understand. The Literature Club is truly a place where no happiness can be found. To the very end, it continued to expose innocent minds to a horrific reality. Reality that our world was not designed to comprehend. I can't let any of my friends undergo that same hellish epiphany. For the time it lasted, I want to thank you. For making all my dreams come true. For being a friend to all the club members. And most of all, thank you for being a part of my Literature Club. With everlasting love, Monica. Wow. Like, I actually feel legit bad. I should have finished this last episode. I did not realize that I was this close to the end. This game is... I understand why people love it as much as they do. I don't fully understand why Monica can survive her character file being deleted, other than because she had access, she probably copied it somewhere before she told me how to do that. I almost wonder if I start digging through stuff, will I find another Monica.care in one of the other files? And if so, would actually deleting that as well change the ending? I'm really curious how much you can play with the game by changing the files before you begin glitching it yourself. And are you supposed to? I'm also a little like, is there, how much of it, how variable, because you can obviously choose to hang out with different club members and see things, but does everything just end in tragedy no matter what? Like, the concept behind the game, the way the game is designed, where it's a like harem dating novel, where one of the characters becomes self-aware, because I do believe Monica is a character and not a like member of the coding team, and is able to access the world outside the game she's within, is a really interesting idea, because she doesn't really have morals because she's not a human. She wasn't trained with morals. The only thing she knows is what she's programmed with, which is fall in love with the protagonist. But again, people did point out in chat or in comments that there's not a dating option for Monica, but that also kind of confuses me because there's not really a dating option for any of them. It's just that her character sprite is down below everyone else's, so you can't really get scenes with her as far as I know. So I'm not... Did she write herself in? Like, I'm not really sure who Monica is meant to be. Is she a character that just gained self-awareness, or is she somewhere from some other aspect that ended up coming into and writing herself into this program after the fact? is she an author insert character? Although the author's a guy, so probably not. And yeah, because they deleted everything, it's going to do this. What happens if I launch it now? Interesting. And then if you actually do reinstall it, I'm just curious. I bet it just opens up back to a fresh game. So that's the thing. Like, part of me wants to go through and see the other options, but then part of me is also like, well, it would just end in tragedy no matter what you did. I don't think you can avoid ending up with Monica and having Monica go crazy. I am a little curious to go back and see. People did tell me she'll talk about a lot of other stuff if you just leave her. But it was also really weird because she would just sit there and stare at the screen, and I was like, I'm not going to just sit here. It would have gotten really boring as a Let's Play, I feel like. Where is it? Am I blind? Guys, I might be blind. Really? It doesn't exist anymore? Like, that's not possible, is it? Is it not under Doki Doki Literature Club? This whole time, was it actually under something else? Hold on. Oh, because I never bought... Oh, that is brilliant. Because I never bought it, it doesn't actually show up in my games library. That is super smart. 1 second, guys. Come back. I'm just curious. I want to make sure that I know what's going on here. And I think I do. But I'm not positive, and I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out. So... I almost said my password out loud. That would have been tragic. Actually, not really. Steam would have been like, oh, well, confirm this passcode because you're logging from a new location. But still, it would have been a bad idea. Because, yeah, because it's free. Oh, that is a super brilliant thing to do. Because I was legit freaking out for a second. It says it's already in my library. It sure wasn't a second ago. Wow. So this game, it's a really interesting take. I really like the concept behind it. It handled itself really well. Obviously, as I said through the playthrough, I did not go into it really knowing what to expect, which is, I think, the way to approach it. But unfortunately, because of that, I was completely enamored with the way that Sayori's depression was handled. And then when it got to Yuri's, like, cutting thing, I was a little frustrated, in all honesty. I preferred it being a more serious outlook, and I realized that it's not supposed to be. No, you deserve support, man. I didn't buy this before because I didn't want to potentially give myself spoilers, but this developer definitely. Oops, you guys can see my security code. This may be bad. You can also see an address that is no longer mine. So please don't send stuff that... Actually, I mean, I don't care. Nobody... That my mom since sold that house, so probably still shouldn't be showing this, though. Whoops. But yeah. So I'm betting now that it's reinstalled... Dang it, you do have to delete everything and completely resume. But will that mean it won't let you skip anymore? Oh my god. It's terrible. Okay, but that does tell me, now once you reinstall, you can start the game again. So I guess my question, now that I've beaten it, man, I did not expect to beat it this quickly, is again, how much replayability is there? How much, other than just seeing the different scenes with the different girls, does it play out the same every time? I feel like it pretty much has to. But the one thing that gives me pause is people talk about how Monica doesn't have an ending. and everyone else does. And I'm like, how would you get an ending? Because everyone just dies at their end. Or is that their ending? Is Sayori's ending when she hangs herself is Yuri's ending where she stabs herself. I never did get to see Natsuki's ending, but I'm not sure I want to see her kill herself. Like, that's not something I'm super, super, super interested in, to be honest. I like these characters. But again, and I know I'm just repeating myself at this point, I did the way the game countered your expectation, the way the game, Natsuki was the one it did this the best with, where it had the like short, spunky girl that doesn't take shit from anyone, and is all up in your face, and the archetype that you've seen 1,000 times, and then they make that be about the fact that she's malnourished, and that's why she's so short, and it adds this element of tragedy to this character you've seen 100 times. It's amazing and beautiful and wonderful and awesome, and I'm super, super, super happy with that decision and how they did that. It's great. I mean, like, obviously, Natsuki's malnourished. It's fantastic. I mean, that's not what I'm saying, but they just handle it really well, and it makes me smile. Is, I guess, ultimately what I'm trying to say. Also, Doki Doki, the O's form boobs. That's awesome. I just noticed that, and yes, I'm 12. What does Doki Doki mean? I've seen it before, but I have no idea what it actually refers to. But it's definitely a thing in Japan. So, that's cool. That's awesome. Delete my existing data. And yeah, it looks like it's just completely resuming. All right, and the game starts anew. So yeah, let me know what else there is to explore in this game, because I don't want to go through it again and just watch Natsuki die if that's the only thing that's left. But I'm interested in the world. I'm interested in the game. Inevitably, people have been comparing this to Undertale. If you have not watched Undertale, then I'm going to end my non-Undertale related discussion by simply saying that this game is really, really interesting, and I deeply, deeply appreciate and enjoy it. I think it's awesome. I'm actually going to go onto YouTube and watch all the stuff on YouTube I've seen about Doki Doki that I have not allowed myself to watch up until now, because ever since I started uploading it, people would be like, there's a game theory or 3 or 8 about Doki Doki. Other people would post other things, but I would just inherently never watch any of them because I did not want spoilers. But I'm very curious about the game now that I've finished it. But to talk about Undertale, and again, there will be a little bit of spoilers in the discussion, so I apologize, but fair warning now. I do feel like Undertale handled its game within a game better. This was a little bit on the nose with it. The whole idea, Undertale was subtle. It didn't push the I know I'm in a game in your face the same way this did, and I appreciated that. It let you put the connection together where he was talking about the different timelines, and you're like, oh, that's because you could reset the game and like delete your old save, and that creates a new timeline. And it was very meta, but it also worked on its own. This game does not work except by the acknowledgement and the shattering of the fourth wall, whereas Undertale can also just be a story. It kind of reminds me of, I think it's Section 9, where it was a movie about aliens that had crash landed here, and we kind of gave them this little District 9, that's what it's called. And it was a movie that was very much about the illegal alien, finger quotes, menace, and kind of a look at how do we handle this if they were legit aliens. And it really spoke to the question of outsiders coming in when there were other humans, even though they made an allegory of it with aliens. But that said, if you didn't understand that, the game still worked fine as it's out. The cover story still worked. This one has to break its cover story down, and it's just a little bit blatant and in your face about it. And I wish that wasn't the case, if that makes sense. I wish the game was strong enough to be a game in its own right, and then also had very interesting things to say under the surface if you were able to acknowledge it. But that's a pretty lesser complaint. I feel like Undertale did it better. But yeah, I really deeply enjoyed. The other question people have had for me is, will this be kind of my breaking point into other visual novels? And the answer is maybe. It depends. Visual novels like this that have a lot of analysis to do, I would love to do on stream. And I can add that into games that I'm interested in playing and kind of that queue. If there's anything like that. What I want to steer away from is just like character focused ones, but there's still not that much to talk about because the big problem is that I need something where I can actually contribute. And if all I'm doing is sitting here reading text to you, that feels a little infringy. Like, I need to be able to insert something of myself into the playthrough, and so there needs to be a lot to analyze beyond just this character said this and this character said that. So regardless, I am glad I played this game. It's funny, I only played this game because it was relatively short, and it was a lot longer than I thought. This is episode 17. I thought when I looked it up, the game took about 4 hours to beat, so I thought it would be over at episode 8. Whoops! Regardless, though, thank you very much for being here. I am very glad I got to play this game. It's awesome. I was trying to find a better word than awesome for awesome, and I failed. I could not find a better word for awesome than awesome. But you guys rock. I'm glad you were here. I'm glad you went on this journey with me. I still like Sayuri. Sorry, Monica fans. Monica is interesting, but again, I am curious. I want to know more about her, and maybe in my delving into YouTube theory videos, I will find out more about Monica, because I'm sure she is a massively discussed character, because she doesn't fully make sense. I'm also not entirely sure how Sayuri knew about Monica. There's more going on here than I figured out yet, but I will go. I don't want to say I'll go look up the information, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and agonize over it and make my own theories when people have already, you only get better at theories by looking at other people's theories and analyzing them and decide if you agree with them or not. It's just egoism to say, I'm not going to look at anyone else's thoughts. I will only trust my own uniquely arrived at conclusions. Who does that? Not me. See you next time, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in.